All right, it says it's recording. Okay, guys, thank you so much for hopping on. This is officially our first in, I hope, a bunch of Zoom calls, coffee chats that we can kind of connect about coaching. My name is Corinne. Brittany, I don't think I actually know you, but nice to see you on. I have been coaching now. I started as a challenger. I'm going to give you my backstory really quick. Started as a challenger, randomly saw some post on Facebook, and I was like, she looks like fun. I've heard about Shakeology. I'm going to try it. Click, bought, signed up as a discount coach. No clue what I was doing. Didn't know. I was kind of hyperventilating when I purchased it, because I was like, at the time, you spend $160 and you got one DVD set. And I was like, what did I, in a bag of brown powder. I was like, what the heck did I just do? But day one in a boot camp, loved it, did round after round after round. And it was about July where my coach finally said to me, what about coaching? And I was like, well, I go, what's it going to cost? I wanted the cost factor, which is obviously, being a mom of 3. And she said, well, you've already signed up for the discount. It's not going to cost you anything. And I was like, well, why wouldn't I share? People had started to ask, what are you doing? I had lost 15 to 20 pounds at that point. And they're like, what are you doing? And I said, well, and I just shared my story, and I got within the first week of actually committing to coaching, I hit the first rank in the business, which you'll hear about. And then in 3 months after that, I hit the next rank. And it was basically my warm market at first, because people saw my results. And then about a year and a half after that, I ended up quitting my part-time job as a tutor at the community college, because my boss wasn't flexible and my income was surpassing what I made as coaching. And with 3 kids, it was a no-brainer. I wanted to be a mom. I wanted to drop everything to be in their lives, to pick them up from school, to be at every game, to run to random doctor's appointments and not stress about it. That to me was freedom that I wanted, that time freedom to be a mom. So it's been 5 years now, and I'm slowly getting more comfortable. It takes out talking about the business. And, I think I wish I would have found it when my kids were little. I think I just wish I would have. I'm so grateful for when I did found it, but I just feel like, gosh, it's a perfect fit for anyone who A, wants to stay at home, B, has kids, plans to have kids. I think a lot of people get a little nervous. You get, the pushback, the fears of coaching. Is it just selfies? Is it just, selling is icky? And that was my first take on it. Oh my gosh, I got to take selfies. And it's kind of when you truly believe in it, and the workouts and the programs change your life, if someone is going to judge you for saying that you worked out or providing, a motivational tool, then they're really not your friend. They're really why would you want that person in your life? And that's through personal development over many years. I've gotten to the point where I've gone through a lot of things over these 5 years. And I truly believe that Beachbody gave me the tools, but I actually used the tools to change my life. I don't think Beachbody changed my life. They have great products. It really comes down to you that changes your life, and surrounding yourself with the people that help you. Because I'm sure there's been times in your life where you surround yourself with not so good people, and where does that get you? So I've kind of been choosing my tribe, choosing my vibe, especially recently. There's a wonderful tool called Unfollow. You don't have to have those people around you. And I've finally, with personal development, realized it just makes me feel better taking control of my life. So before, I could talk all day, but I want to give Michelle and Mary a chance. They are both my coaches. Michelle, it's been 2 years. We just had our little memory pop up of you in my challenge groups, and I was like, I could cry. And I feel like Michelle is probably, you've been my longest consistent coach, I feel like. And that's a really good feeling when people stick around. Like I've stuck around with my coach, Melissa, now for 5 years, and I'm like, you're never going to get rid of me. Like I want to be 80 hanging out and working out and doing fun stuff. So Michelle, take it away.
All right. So I like kind of did Beachbody here and there back when it was, you get the DVDs as well. Never had a coach, never had a challenge group, and never was successful. And then my first year of teaching, I taught the same grade that Corinne's daughter was in at the time. So we became friends on Facebook, and Corinne asked me probably 6 times, and I was like, no, like I wanted to do it, I just wasn't ready. And then finally I was so sick with my Crohn's that I just needed to do something different and try like exercise. I knew it would help. And then, so I started just with the exercise. I joined her challenge groups and I loved it. The daily accountability, just being part of a team of people, like Corinne said, like having people with like a like-minded focus where they were trying to get healthy and do the right things when I wasn't around people who were very focused on that to begin with. And then I tried the Shakeology and couldn't believe what difference it made for my stomach and like my health with that and how much it helped. So then I was in her challenge group for a year. I kept doing it and I loved it. And then she asked me if I was interested in coaching, and I had also been signed up as a discount coach. And I kind of like the thought of it. I love teaching, but I also needed more money, like more money. I'm like, that was one of the biggest things. And I did have people asking how I did it. And I basically just wanted to cover the cost of my supplements was what I was hoping to do and help people along the way. And through it, I found so much more accountability for myself by being a coach is because I have to, like, I show up for them. Like, I'm not just doing it for myself anymore. And like this month has been like my best month. Like I can't wait till tomorrow to be able to kind of see everything. Like I'm not that it's about the money, but like to see all like the fact that I helped so many people when this horrible situation has been going on. Like that's been really rewarding. And just like I agree, like our vital behaviors, like I love that the focus of our coaching is based on those vital behaviors because it's for us to work on ourselves. And that's basically what Beachbody wants. Because how many companies do you know that say, I want you to read 15 minutes a day of personal development. I want you to work out. I want you to be, like, I think it's amazing that that's like kind of the focus, and that's how you like get results, like I don't know. I love it. And it brings me joy. Like, honestly, the last couple of weeks, I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have those daily Zoom meetings with you guys in the morning or just like our coach feeds working together. And so that's, I think it, I don't know.
No, that was perfect, Michelle. I actually wrote down 2 things. Like being a coach, there's side effects, and being happier is like a huge side effect, and people don't expect that. Like they don't understand it, and it's not until you go to like a first big coach event where you're like, oh my God, these like we're all happy. Like my husband, when he first went, he was like, where like you guys are all like weird and happy, and I'm like, that's so sad that like that's like abnormal for people to be happy and positive. um
Yeah.
and having like, so the happiness is a side effect. I feel like when you're being healthy is a side effect, and then from that, like, yeah, you might get in really good shape, you might like fit into these great clothes and feel amazing, and money too, I feel like, is a side effect. I had done like a income progression post, and I honestly don't ever really know what I make until like the end of the year, and I looked at like the last 4 years and I was like, wow, like I'm really growing, and I don't really pay attention to that. Obviously, I mean, I know that I'm making an income, but that's just like another side effect that comes along with it. And exactly what Michelle said, I feel like if I didn't have this right now, I would be going insane with the way the world is happening. Like it is, and I wish more people had this right now, to really help them. So I'm going to pass it over to Mary now, because
Okay, all of them are in here with me, so it's gonna get loud. I apologize. I met Corinne through the college, and I've been doing Beachbody workouts for about 5 years, and I never really were into the challenge groups or the Shakeology and stuff because I had my own routine. My husband always worked like 2 to 3 jobs, so I was me with the kids. Like I would just kind of just do everything on my own. I didn't really get into like groups until my daughter became a diabetic, and Corinne was always there like checking on me, and I always did like her health, like um the water group that you did, and the what was it, the healthy like meal type things. I've always done those, but I never really did like an actual group. And then I just I became part of like the type 1 moms group, and I just saw the support there. And then I just realized that like I kind of need something out there too for my health as well. So I think that's another reason why I wanted to become a coach, was with everything that I was going with, like I can help other moms, that are feeling I do, and just using this because this is something I can control, is my nutrition, my workout. It's my outlet. Like I can't like like my girls are my life, and you need some type of thing that you can like have your time with. And I liked Corinne's vibe. Like I think her no excuses, her like I don't know, I think it's how we, right? Like that's Corinne, like that's how we connected. Like there's a lot of stuff that and I think that was more another thing too that pushed me, like, okay, I can do this too. Like I can show the positivity like how she shows, and I can reach out to those people that are struggling at home, like these stay-at-home moms that are home, and I can just be there for them and support them and show them that there's other ways to, help with your stress and anxiety, and you can get your whole family involved. Like you don't have to just do it all on your own. Like the nutrition wise, like I don't just set meals just for myself. Like we all eat the same way. The portion fix is perfect for Sophia because it's every 2 hours. And with being type 1, you can't eat all the time. Like you actually have to have that. So like, it works really, really well for our family. So it's been a nice, really a good outlet for me to just like separate, the stress with everything that's going on. And I can just show positive, and just be there for other moms as well. So, but yeah.
Unmute me. Okay. Yeah, definitely. I think the best benefit, I mean, obviously everyone coaches to help people. I don't really think anyone stays in the business just if their number one priority is money. I really think it's helping people. It's the accountability. Some people are like, how do you do this every day? And I was like, well, I log into my group and I see people crushing it and getting amazing results. So I pull my lazy butt out of bed and I suck it up and I do it. And granted, there are days where I am not like a typical coach, and I'll lean into my challenge group and be like, oh my gosh, I'm having a day. But there's always someone there to bring, support you. And I think that's a huge benefit of accountability that I'm finally like seeing and realizing, like that is like a really unsung hero of coaching. Is, I mean, what other job do you get to work on your health? And like that's number one priority. It's really, I mean, it's everything. And when you come to, I had gone through, Brittany, like 3 years ago I had a brain tumor, and so I had already been doing Beachbody before this, and so I was already like, that came up and I was like, all right, here we go. Like, let's have surgery. Let's get it out back on track. And there we go. But in my mind, I'm thinking, what if I wasn't already in shape? Like, think of everybody out there that is unhealthy. Like, and how can I not share that with people? How can I not reach out and say, hey, I have something that can help you? Because like something is coming through that door at some point in your life. There's going to be a health issue. And why, like, I feel like it's a disservice if I don't share something that's going to help people change their lives and get healthier. And then also they can earn an income. So that's my take on it. And that's a lot of personal development. It's not, I couldn't talk like this when I first started coaching. I was just like, oh, hey, like I'm doing this fun thing. Like, you know, it takes time to get there. But when you stick it out, like Michelle can attest, Mary can attest, like it's just, it becomes like brushing your teeth or taking a shower. Like you have to, it doesn't ever feel like a job. I honestly don't ever think that I felt like, oh, I have to go to work today. I'm always like, okay, here we go. You know, like it's just something I love. And it's just like, I don't understand why everyone doesn't do it. And that's another point. Like some people will be like, there's too many Beachbody coaches. And I'm like, no, there is not. Like if you, there's a lot of discount coaches, but there is not enough. Cause then you look around and you see the unhealthy behaviors out there and you're like, oh gosh, there's always someone to help. And that's what I wake up every day and I'm like, okay, who can I help today? Even if it's like a post and they got motivation from it. So that's it. Do you have any questions? I don't want to put you on the spot, Brittany. I'll actually unmute you, but you don't have to talk. I don't want you to feel like you're on the spot.
No, kind of like Michelle said, just the idea of being a coach, I don't know. I've given it a lot of thought, but I also was just telling Michelle when she invited me on this call, like I feel like I'd be hypocritical right now. I love the workouts. The workouts have been like a total, just a habit for me. Like I can't go through my day without starting with the workout. But just nailing my nutrition, I think has been, I haven't done it yet, no excuses, but
yeah.
So that's where I'm at. Just wouldn't want to be hypocritical being like, hey, come do what I'm doing, even though I'm not doing well right now.
You know, and that I think is a lot of people think that they can't coach until they're at their certain weight or
right.
They have 6-pack abs or they're following everything to T. Like coaching is not about perfection. And I'm pretty sure the people in my group realize, like, I will be there, like, I'll wake up the next morning and be like, I just drank a bottle of wine. I had 17 breadsticks and probably a sleeve of Oreos, but I'm here. You know what I mean? So I don't think people want you to be real. They don't want you to show up at the end and be like, look at me. They want to see you through the process and see you struggle and see how you figure it out. You know, and I think that,
like, oh, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
I know, like for me, I've had a lot of people that have like come to me, like when I'll post about like going out for ice cream or having like a treat or something, they're like, I love that you do that because it's realistic. Like, it's not like, I am not the person that like, I'm going to restrict myself 100, you know what I mean? Like, that's just not how I want to live my life. Like, I don't want to be 6-figure thin, like, supermodel. Like, that's not my goal in life. Like, I want to be healthy, and being healthy is being able to balance. So I feel like that's a really good thing. And I sometimes do use the challengers too, because like I'll like have a day where I just feel like I am like eating everything in my house, and I'll go in my challenge groups, and then people will be posting food, or one of my friends will, like, you know, like they'll have like this awesome post about their day, and I'm like, oh, well, I just ate a whole sleeve of cookies today. Like, you know, like I gotta get my shit together. But
But I think that's a really good question, because a lot of people have that conception like, oh, I have to wait until I lose this weight, or I have to wait until I get everything perfect, and it's never going to be perfect.
Or like you said, all the selfies. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to start recording myself working out. I gotta put on makeup.
No makeup. Oh my God. You get over that. Like when people are like makeup free Wednesday, and I'm like, I am like makeup free most days with my workouts, and it honestly becomes like a habit. Like I don't even think about recording my workouts anymore. It's just like, it's there. And like the coolest thing is, I feel like we might need a training of like how to record your workout, because it took me forever to like figure it out. Like you don't have to like start and pause, like you can just let it go and edit it. And so there's always like trainings and tools to like learn all that and ask questions. It's not one of those things. And I feel like my coach is Melissa, and she puts together trainings, I think, every other day. So you never have, you know, right? She does. You girls can attest to that.
I also just want to say really quick too, my daughter was 8 months when I became a coach. Like I became a coach and started my nutrition, like to get back on track. Like I kind of used it for myself to push myself too. Like
Yeah.
that, just let them
That's a
know that
good
I wasn't
point.
doing it alone. So,
Yeah.
and I'm
Yep.
still not even there yet, but you know, that's when I
Yep.
started too.
You're pretty darn close, Mary.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Like, and the thing is, I've kind of been drawn to Mary because I like watching her story. Like, look at her progression. You know, she literally has 5 kids running around in the background, and she's like, you know, working out. And I'm like, jeez, you know, like she practically almost has double my kids. And she's getting it done, you know. So it really is cool to see different people. And that's the thing. Like, a lot of people will be drawn to you for you, and like someone might not necessarily like sign with you because you might not be their person, but if you're real and authentic, you will attract your people that stick with you. You know, so that's something, you know, to remember too. So all right,
I love that.
thank you.
And and I also don't want to feel like, I'm sorry, just nagging. Like Michelle never ever nagged me. I mean, I remember her checking in with me, and that was great. And it was when I was ready to really,
Yes.
it was me approaching her, being okay. That's when I I just started proving that I was gonna keep showing up. And
Yep.
so I've
Yeah.
like gone through scenarios in my head. I have one girl that's doing that started doing the 2-week free trial, and she said she's going to keep working out, and I'll go to message her and I'm like, I don't want to nag her, I don't want to,
Here's
you know.
something I've said this to my coaches before. I said, you can never say the wrong thing to the right person. And if asking, how are you doing your workouts? I know you started. I even follow up with people that say, hey, I went to Weight Watchers. I'll even like literally I write on my calendar, and you guys like they can attest to it. I check in on people. Great. How's Weight Watchers going? How was it? If it was working for them, awesome. Because what matters is they're healthy. So I am like the queen of, I will always follow up with someone. I will always ask, A, how they're doing, A, or B, if they want to join a group. And until they say stop, like I don't, in my mind, I would never be annoyed that somebody asked me to join something. And if they get annoyed, then they're not my people. And you get to that point, you know, that it's just like, I know that I have value. And I know if I stopped 3 years ago, like I wouldn't have met these girls. I wouldn't have been earning a paycheck right now. Like my job would have been done. I would not have had unemployment like at GCC, like our grant program. I wouldn't have had anything. And like that, when I got sick, I didn't have time off. I didn't like, so that would have been like 2 months of no pay, but it's all because like I said yes to this and I exposed more people to it and I asked people. Like that changed my life because I was like, I know, I believe in the products and the workouts and the community. So I just always ask, I always follow up, and I don't feel weird about it. And obviously if people say otherwise, then that's fine, you know, because you're always, I feel like you're like one message away from changing someone's life, because you don't know if maybe they had a really crappy day and you reached out and said, hey, checking in, I know we talked, are you interested in it? I have a group starting. And they might be like, oh my God, yes, thank you so much for following up. Usually my people are like, you invited me 7 times, and you know, and it just wasn't their time yet, you know. And some, honestly, you guys can probably all think of someone that Beachbody and challenge groups, they would never do good in. Like you know, those people, like those Debbie Downers, like, yeah, they couldn't, you know, a group's not for them, you know, and it isn't for everyone. So that's my take on that.
And I think that's the biggest thing, like that you'll never say the wrong thing to the right person. Like it definitely, you know, and like she said, just following up, you know, and like, and you didn't think I was nagging you when I asked you how everything was going, you know, so it's like that you're literally just checking in with people, and they do, like, especially now too, I think that so many people are like hoping to have a conversation with someone, you know, if they're, you know, so it's like, it's just a simple, hey, how's it going, has been pretty effective. So.
Yeah. And that's what I teach, like follow ups. And it's not even inviting them to a group. It's just like, hey, I know you said last month you were struggling with XYZ. How's that going? How are you? And for them to be like, oh my gosh, thanks for thinking of me. And I'm not even inviting them to a group, but they're just like me asking someone how they're doing, like that's my job. Like that's pretty cool. And eventually if they ever get to the point where they like want to try a workout or something, who are they going to think of? They're going to think of the person that checked in on them 17 times in the last 2 years. You know what I mean? Yeah, Mary, exactly. That's how Mary's here. But, you know, and it's, I like that job description of like, that's my job, checking in on people. Like that makes me feel good, you know, and I genuinely care about the people. If I didn't, I would like never check in on them. So, yeah, so that's that.
But you weren't even like just saying how you were doing. You actually like, how is your daughter doing? Like you knew like what my
Yeah.
struggles were. I like, you were very personable. And I think that's what I think that's what I want to be. I want to be like that for other people too. Is It wasn't just I don't know, just a generic thing. You knew what was going on in my life, and that's what got me. Like that's what. Sorry to be to make me cry. Like
Don't.
I was, because I was struggling. I really was, and I was trying to hide it. And you knew what was going on, and I was like, "That's it. That's what I needed. Like,
Yeah.
that's what needed to change. And you know what? I can do this for somebody else too, and it'll help me." Which it's doing. Not only is it like I'm helping others, I'm helping myself to get out of, you know, that negative thoughts that was going on and the stress. So
Yeah.
So thank you. Sorry.
Oh, you're welcome. I don't want to cry again today. But that's the thing, like Mary's story, like I know Mary with when she was pregnant with Millie, like that's like my connection with her was like it started with Millie and worrying about Millie. And like I had lost a baby at 20 weeks and I remember going in for that anatomy scan and like I just like our story didn't have a happy ending and I just prayed and I remember like I connected with Mary on that aspect. For me was that, you know, and that's the thing, like when you share your struggles, like you're going to connect with people. And I honestly feel like coaching is almost like therapy at sometimes, and journaling. Yeah, like there's stuff, and it's funny, like I share a post and then someone's like, oh, that, and I was like, oh, like I'm thinking it's like my private journal when I'm like, but I'm like, that's Facebook, Corinne, or that's Instagram. But really it's really sharing what I'm going through. And that's how I view it. Because if I can connect with one person and help one person, like what Mary just talked about, like that is amazing, you know. That's why I show up every day. So yeah. So all right. Well, thank you guys. That was half an hour. That wasn't bad. Let me figure out if I can stop the